Alright people, what's happening? I'm all good. I just thought I would come on and do a video, right? But it's no a video about murder and mayhem and all that kind of shit, because obviously I know I do a lot of videos about shit like that, but this channel isn't always about all that kind of stuff. It's also about like kind of the journey that people leaving prison have to make when they're gone straight, and all the kind of hurdles that they face and all that. And obviously, like, I'm kind of going through all that every day, but sometimes it's not, I don't find it that interesting to talk about really, because it's just, it's not really that interesting, know what I mean? But I wanted to come on today and talk about it because I had a bit of a kind of wee event today. So, as I had explained before, I think in some other video, I ended up volunteering for this organisation that helps ex-offenders when they're leaving prison. And I got involved in that because last year was a bit of a fucked up year in a lot of ways, but there was a lot of positives, but a lot of mental shit as well. And it kind of culminated in me just shutting myself off a lot. I was wanting to move away, cut ties with everybody I knew. Just not really want to deal with anybody, like, because I just, I'm one of the people that I overthink everything, right? And I'd shit with my brother, my kid's mum, a lassie I was seeing last year. There was just all these problems that I had, and some people in the community that were just testing my patience. So I tended to shut myself off. I would only come out to go to my classes, right? And I would just go in my shell. And that's a bit in an avoidance strategy, because the way I saw it was, if people are starting shit, and know that this was really happening too much, right? But it's no them that I worry about, it's mine shit, know what I mean? Like, so I shut myself up that much that I was like, fuck it, I need to start doing shit, like just level up now. Get to fuck for extricate yourself for this shit. So I ended up contacting a couple of places that focus on volunteering for helping ex-offenders, right? And usually you find that these places are run by ex-offenders, or ex-offenders at least work there. So one of the places didn't get back to me at all, and now I'm starting to think maybe that was a sign. But another one got back to me, and they were like, oh, we're based in Edinburgh, and we don't have anything in the west of Scotland. So this was like last December they were saying this, so I was like, fuck's sake, man. Or last November, something like that. So I never heard anything more to it. So one day I'm walking back from my class, right, and the phone's us, and I was talking to the guy that that works there. He's an ex-offender as well, but obviously he's got his life figure on that now, know what I mean? And he was saying about how I'd be able to volunteer there and all this kind of stuff. So I went to a couple of the meetings in Edinburgh, which was basically about like kind of a bit information sessions and training sessions, all this kind of stuff. And the name of this organisation is called Aid and Abet. So it's like kind of like, not how in America, like aiding and abetting, it's like fucking aiding and abetting a bank robbery, a fucking a prison escape, all that kind of shit. So it's kind of like a double entendre, if you want to call it that, because we're aiding and abetting change, transformation, people try to get themselves together. Because we're already in the process of doing it or have done it. So, as I explained a couple of weeks ago, I went into a prison, an agent's visit. That was a few weeks ago now, and even though I had been in that prison before, like it had been flattened and rebuilt, like it still felt like I had never been there at all. It was fucking weird. But then I got invited to a criminal justice conference at a college in West Lothian, and in the build up to this, I'm like, I'm gonna fuck this up because you need to switch trains and all this kind of stuff. Now I know that doesn't sound like a big deal to people who use fucking trains every day, but I fret all the wee tiny stupid things like that. But this is what's weird. It's like my stress response is back to front. So like, if I get locked in a room with somebody who wanted to fight me or something, I don't know, like somebody who you just knew from back in the day, and you know you two just didn't get on, and if the two get locked in a room, it's happening. There'll be no stress response at all, but going to the shop to buy a bottle of juice, going to get a train for fucking where I stay to say Glasgow Central, switch trains in Glasgow Central and get the train to fucking whatever, right? I'm like, oh no, I'm going to fuck this up. What platform do I go to? What train? What if I get on the wrong train? And all this kind of stuff. So it's a bit weird that way, and I kind of recognise that, do you know what I mean? But what can you do in it, man? It's just kind of maybe the kind of end result of the life that I've led, do you know what I mean? But I had to I got up at 5:45 this morning. Now that is early for me. I don't lie in, but that's early for me. And walked down to the train station, right? It gets to the platform, I'm standing there, and so I goes in. I had to buy my tickets, obviously, and then the fucking ticket office was shut. Like, oh, we're away doing maintenance. I'm like, what? Buy your ticket out the vending machine. So I'm looking about for this fucking vending machine. I can't find a vending machine anywhere, right? So I walked out to the platform. I sees this big machine inside this wee kind of shelter area, and I'm like, that must be a vending machine. So I goes in, starts fucking about with the buttons, and pine by my card. Now, see, pine by card does my fucking head in, right? I hate it, man. I just hate using cards. But I paid for my tickets, man, and this boy makes eye contact with me, and straight away I'm like, he's got to say something to me. And he's like, and so he comes out to me and he's like, yeah, I watched you on YouTube. I'm like, fucking hell, man, right? So I ends up talking to him, and it turns out that his cousin was somebody that I'd done time with, a good boy, good guy, man. Talking about him. So that was that. So I ends up jumping on the train, switching trains, and then I got to the place where this conference was being held, right? So the Justice Minister for Scotland was the keynote speaker at this event today. I didn't get to meet her, but obviously some of the people at Aid and I bet did go and meet her, because one of the guys, I believe, actually knows her personally. So I was just sitting up the back of the room, but just listening to everybody speaking. It was like Community Justice Scotland, Violence Reduction Unit, and Women's Aid and all that, and they were all coming at justice issues, but for their own kind of narrative or angle or whatever you want to call it. But it felt weird for me being in a college where there was probably kids there, like, a lot of them weren't much older than my kids. He's high school age, obviously, just starting high school, but it was just a bit of a fucking weird feeling, man. Like, the thinking, I'm sitting in a college listening to all these people doing speeches about criminal justice and all that, for going for being somebody who was probably a criminal justice statistic to being well, I don't want to sound like pompous saying part of the solution, but kinda a wee bit, like a grain of sand on the beach, if you want to call it that. Do you know what I mean? Part of the bigger picture, I don't know. But so we went for lunch in this college cafeteria, and I'm just pure looking about everywhere, just pure taking everything in. It was weird to be amongst all these people who were, I don't know, like it just seemed super normal. And it was like I was out my bubble, I was out my comfort zone, way out my comfort zone. Um, but the kind of apex of this whole day was when I went to the workshops. So each of these organisations were all doing workshops in classrooms after all the speakers in the big speaking hall, whatever the fuck it was, right? The room was packing, right? So after lunch, each speaker had their own classroom where they were just fucking talking about who they are, what they do, blah blah blah. And I kind of got to my class, let's say 5 minutes late, right? Cause I ended up talking to this guy that I'd met before. And I walked in the class and sat down up the front, not like where the teacher sits, but like, cause that's where we were all talking. So the guy who kind of runs Aid in a Bet he was doing the talking, and the rest, there was another three is me and our guy and our lassie, right? We were just sitting up the front, facing the class, and then the guy who was doing the talking asked me, like, do you want to tell them about your life story? So I was kinda no shocked, but I was kinda like just shooting for the hip, because I find that if you take a big script in, I didn't know I was going to do that, but I find that if you take a big script in, you end up forgetting what you wrote down, so you're trying that hard to remember what the fuck you wrote down that you can't fucking think what to say. So it's just a bit like coming on here. You're just talking. You're not sitting reading this big fucking prepared speech. You know what I mean? And I find it more authentic that way. Because see when they're dressing it up and wording it a certain way and taking words out and add words in, try to sound off loud and not. I just think it just takes the authenticity right off it. So I end up sitting telling this classroom a very brief version of my life story, and I could tell I had their attention, right? So I had to do that twice, two different classes, right? And it just felt weird to be gone for like a prison education centre to an education centre. Very big college. Um, because obviously, as I explained before, I'd done a lot of education in prison, and education was almost like a religion to me in prison. So it felt a bit weird, because I remember when I was in the classroom, right, there's these vertical blinds, right, and they're all around the windows, and I remember looking at them and going, that looks like bars. Like the way they were all positioned, it just looked like bars to me, right? And I was sitting thinking to myself, like, that could easily pass for a classroom in a prison education uh, centre, and now you're not in the prison one, you're in a fucking real one outside. Um, and it was just a weird feeling, man, to realise that how far that I've come since they days. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing, because this organisation's actually kind of to help people in the first few days that they come out, like to sort out housing benefits, GP appointments, all the kind of safety nets that you need when you come out of prison. But obviously I've been out nearly 5 years now, and I've been out so long in all my life, so I'm kind of, I've laid the foundations to move on with my life, if you want to say that. And I've actually, I'm not going to lie, like, I could have sat in that place all day. It just seems, I didn't feel like an ex-offender, even though I was telling people that's that's what I was. And it was weird because I didn't get any, I didn't pick up on it anyway. I didn't pick up on any strange looks, any bad vibes, but maybe that was because I wasn't getting right into detail about a lot of it. I was just kind of saying, obviously, how, like, when I was a kid, fucking my dad died and ended up fucking gang fighting all the time and drinking alcohol and fucking just causing it, and the sentences I got and all. So I wasn't like pure laying it right on thick, you know what I mean? But you don't do that first impressions, because you just look like a fucking maniac, don't you? So it was just a great experience, if I'm honest, man. So um there's got to be more things like that in the pipeline, do you know what I mean? And it feels good to be able to say that, because, like, this time last year I wasn't involved with anything at all like this. So it feels kind of good that then my channel, and trying to grow it, and not putting something back, but doing something meaningful. Do you know what I mean? So that was what I wanted to come on and talk about it, because I thought I was going to fuck this up. I thought I was going to end up in a fucking train to fucking Newcastle when I'm trying to go to fucking Livingston or something. Know what I mean? I thought, I'm going to fuck this up, and I think that's because of the self doubt. Like a lot of people, it's not just people at daytime and all that. I think we've all just got a bit of that inside us. Know what I mean? But I was glad to get home and just put my feet down and plank my arse back in the couch, know what I mean? I was meant to be got to my karate tonight, but by the time I get home and made my dinner, I was just like, just shattered. No shattered, but and I know they say the day you quit, when you quit training, you're quitting yourself, and you know what? I believe that. You're quitting on yourself, but I've got all the time in the world, know what I mean? But I don't know if any of you have noticed this, that this is nothing to do with this video. People are leaving comments for me and I'm liking them and responding to them, but when I'm going back on, the comments have disappeared and all that. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but um, just a bit strange. Um, the soft power maybe, innit? Like the soft censorship, the shit we slag Russia for. Russia kick your door in and jail you for it, we just delete it all, you know what I mean? But we slag them. Weird. Maybe I'm just being too cynical, or seeing things that aren't there, but I don't believe that comments just vanish without you deleting them. I don't believe that for a minute. I think they call it shadow banning or something, I don't know. It's just a bit strange to me. I've noticed it with a power of comments. And I'm even leaving comments and all, and they're vanishing and all. Fuck knows what's going on, but if any are leaving comments and and I'm no answering, or I'm no liking it, I'm probably no seen it, know what I mean? I just thought I'd say that. But I'm got to boost anyway. I just wanted to come on and do a wee different video tonight, because obviously it was a really big day for me. And as I says, I was meant to meet the Justice Minister, but by the time we get in and they were in, everybody was lit. I think we were in a wee bit late and she was running late and all that, but I wasn't too gutted about it anyway, you know what I mean? It was just good to even be there and make up the numbers, do you know what I mean? So, onwards and upwards, kids. So I'll leave yous to it, and I'll probably be back on tomorrow night. So have a good Thursday night, and I'll speak to yous tomorrow.